home, and usually that's a pretty exciting time for Joshua because he knows he gets to come out and help me do stuff and get goose feathers and all that. And this particular trip I ended up getting more than just goose, and for some reason he wasn't quite as interested to be around me. It was a new experience for me myself, and I'll spare you some of the graphic details, but it was pretty disgusting and smelly. And yeah, he's back there describing it now. He doesn't have words for it. But, oh no, if any of you guys are hunters, or if you've ever even cleaned an animal, but it's definitely disgusting. So, anyway, later that day I started preparing for communion and reflecting on my day. I was telling Sarah about how nasty the whole process was, and started thinking about just Old Testament sacrifice and just really the whole theme of blood being just throughout the Bible, and just how significant that is, because blood is really the whole source of life. It's really an important thing for our whole being and everything. Leviticus 17:11 even says, "For the life of flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you on the altar to make atonement for your souls. For it is the blood by reason of the life that makes atonement." Interestingly enough, another theme that we see played out often in the Bible is that sin leads to death. In Romans 6:36 it says that the wage of sin is death. And so it's kind of interesting that we see these two things parallel, because when sin's in the picture, blood has to be shed. There has to be death. In Hebrews 9:22 it says, "In fact, the law requires that nearly everything be cleansed with blood, and without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness." And since the beginning of time even, way back to the Garden of Eden, we see this played out even after Adam and Eve sinned. God comes in the picture, sees they're wearing fig leaves, and he makes them garments of skin. Pretty much implying that animals had to die in order for them to be clothed for their sin. This act of sacrifice and blood being shed was really important, because when, throughout the Bible, an animal was sacrificed, people were meant to see that blood. Like I said, it's real messy and smelly, and just you get it all over, and it was a realization of the cost of their actions. And so they were supposed to see that, know they had blood on their hands, and know that they did something selfish. The blood was meant to teach their hearts, though, the cost of their sin. It was a visual representation of what they had done and what had to be done for their forgiveness. So if you fast forward to the New Testament, you see that this continues with the theme as Jesus shed his blood so that we can have life in him. In 1 Corinthians 11, it says, "This is my body, which is for you. Do this in remembrance of me." In the same way, after supper, he took the